Hi friends, welcome to the Celebration of Black Excellence hosted by Z9 Designs and One Way Designs. I'll have links to both the hosts and the playlist in the description box. For my first DIY, I'm using this rose ribbon I found at Hobby Lobby, these pink and white roses from Michaels, and some greenery from Old Time Pottery. I cut out a phrase from Ruby Bridges on my Cricut, my very first Cricut project. And I have this wood round. I found these on Amazon. I'll link them in the description box. And I want to cover my wood round in this seashell pink. It's a really beautiful, soft pink. Since we're going into spring, I'm really loving these lighter tones. So my project will be kind of a shabby chic type look, even though it's centered around Black History Month. So my quote is from Ruby Bridges, who at the age of 6 was the first child to desegregate the all-white William Frantz Elementary School in Louisiana. This made such an impact on the world that the painter Norman Rockwell actually made a painting about it called The Problem We All Live With. And I found this beautiful quote from Ruby that says, "I believe it doesn't do us any good to hate." So I thought this would be a perfect quote to use on this piece for Black History Month. And I'm using this vinyl. I found it at Walmart. It's from this company, Oracal. And I just unboxed my Cricut Joy. And this wasn't too hard to weed out, and I'm transferring this with the DollarTree Magic cover, which I've heard from several crafters is a good product to use. So I didn't have any problem transferring this over. It did leave a little bit of a tacky residue on the wood, so probably once I'm finished with the roll, I'll look into seeing what other types of transfer tape, but this is my very first project, so I'm happy that it actually transferred and all of my wording came out looking nice. If you know of any channels that post really good tips and tricks for using the Cricut Joy, please let me know in the comment section so I can subscribe to their channels. So for the very top, I want to add a little swag. I believe this is Dusty Miller. I found it at Old Time Pottery, and these pink and white roses from Michaels. The color, I think it really adds something to the top. It's a little bit deeper than that seashell pink. So I'm just going to glue down a couple pieces of this greenery and then layer my rosebuds on top of that, and then make a bow with my rose ribbon. So for my bow, I just fold my ribbon over, and then I'm just going to cinch it in the middle with a piece of twine, hot glue that down. And then for the very center of my bow, I take a couple of Dollar Tree pearls and hot glue those in the center. So just a little bit of that shabby chicness pop in the middle of that bow, and I have this like pitberry garland, but they have pearls instead of the colorful pitberries, and I just hot glued that to the back to hang it with. Such a wonderful quote by Ruby. I really love the way this hanger turned out, and the image of her being escorted into school as such a small child is something that is very powerful. And here's the real Ruby Bridges. Journalist, educator, early civil rights leader, and co-founder of the NAACP, Ida B. Wells. Toni Morrison is a Pulitzer Prize winning author. Zora Neale Hurston is an award-winning author and anthropologist, filmmaker. Alice Walker is a Pulitzer Prize winning writer and poet. I'll be highlighting these ladies in my DIY number 2 with a vintage touch. For this DIY, I have a project that I started, but I wasn't happy with it, so I just set it aside. This is from last year, and I tried to sand off as much of the paper as possible. I had Mod Podged some newspaper and then stamped it, but I didn't like it. I used the DollarTree planks for this. They come in a pack of 6. So this was going to be like a jewelry box, and I have a acrylic pumpkin shaped handle for the top. Got some antique white, titanium white, and brushed gold, silicone frame molds, and air dry clay. I've got 4 images of some Black female authors that I want to place inside my frames. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my box painted, and hopefully this will be something that I like this time. I have 4 clay frames that I made ahead of time using this mold and my air dry clay. So I'm gonna have my little images of my authors in each of these. They're a little too big, so I'll have to get them centered. I use matte Mod Podge to attach the photos to the inside of the clay frames. I do a dry fit to see how they will look, and then I use Gorilla Clear Grip glue to attach the frames to the boxes so that I have a permanent hold. I use a little bit of painter's tape just to hold my frames onto the box until the glue sets up. It sets up in within a few minutes, but since I have to turn it to attach the other three, I want to make sure that all of my frames are held in place. For my lid, I'm going to use an acrylic drawer pull that I found on Amazon and get this attached with that same Gorilla Clear Grip glue for a permanent hold, and just attach that right in the center. I want to add a little bit more embellishment around the top and maybe some underneath the images. So I have some other molds. I think this one that looks like feathers might be nice, or maybe one of these. I'll just use hot glue because it's a lot quicker. Once all my glue had cooled off, I did a dry fit to see how I wanted to arrange the pieces on the lid, and then I used a folk art brushed gold to color in those feather pieces and hot glued them to the top of my box. Once my glue had set up enough, then I took that same brushed gold and painted around my frames. I'm not going for a full coverage look because I want this to look aged. So I'm brushing enough on so that it really picks up the detail in each of the frames. Then I add a small flourish underneath each framed photo made out of the same hot glue and golden paint. To further add to the vintage look, I'm taking a little bit of this light mocha from Apple Barrel and a chip brush from DollarTree just to brush on each side of the box, just to give it more of an age vintage type look. I don't want it to look brand new. I want it to look a bit worn. And the final thing was just to add some golden beads to the bottom as feet. So this sits up and looks more like a vintage type piece, and that's it. And here is my completed jewelry box, paying homage to 4 Black writers in history. Yes, there are many female writers that I could have added, but there's just too many, and there are only 4 sides to this box, like Maya Angelou, Lorraine Hansberry. I just picked 4 authors, and I think this box turned out beautifully. Let me know, what do you think of this box, and also of my hanging quote piece. Don't forget the playlist. I'll have a link to the playlist and to both of the hosts in the description box. Thanks so much for watching. Have a blessed day.